Hey everyone, it's Nick Geo, and sorry I'm using my phone, I'm walking, so it's going to be a little bit shaky, but I want to introduce you to my elementary school and just talk about my experience there and how I've used the elementary school these days. So this is actually the district office right next to our just right next to Whittier Elementary School. So that is the office, the main office for basically this whole town, as well as some of the other surrounding towns. And this is Whittier Elementary School, and this is kind of the front entrance of it. And right in here, I remember you can kind of see the lines right here, but this is, I believe, the first grade, kindergarten and first grade lines. So you see KD, KD, KD. And I would do elementary school when I was in kindergarten. It would be just either in the mornings or the afternoons. And I think it's maybe now full day. I'm not sure. I know some elementary schools around here do full day. And then here, this is kind of just a little seating area next to the flagpole. And for this happened when I was in about 4th grade. Families paid to get a brick, so my brick for my family is in here somewhere. Now if we keep walking this way, and just to fill some of the time, so I was at Whittier kindergarten until 5th grade, and then 6th to 8th grade I was at a different middle school that's a couple blocks away from here, Edison Middle School. Okay, so this right here, this would be the bus line, at least, for the morning and the afternoon. I was always a walker, or I took the car, so I'll show you that in the back. And actually right here, for gym, we would do I believe it was the 50-yard dash, which it's a little bit unfair in terms of our advantage because it's downhill. So, but we would do this, and we would always race another student, just so the gym teacher could get more people done. And there was Mrs. Miles and Mr. Spontak as the gym teachers. Mr. Spontak was really cool. He's just this really funny guy. I mean, he could have been a comedian. So this is kind of the front entrance. This was actually made when I was in 1st or 2nd grade, 1999, 2000. So Whittier, I guess it's just called Whittier School, not Whittier Elementary. I'm not sure. This is a little bit new. This sidewalk, I think they renovated it. This is the entrance. If you look kind of upper right there, that was my 3rd grade class, Mrs. Steed. And then right here, I believe is the art class. That was with, what was her name? Mrs. Muscle, or not Muscle, but it was some last name with an M. Over here, this is the staff parking, although there aren't a lot of spots, so I'm not sure. And if we go back here, we'll get to the elementary school, or the playground. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. So, right here, if we go here and we take a left, right here, if you see this bill right here, right on the 1st floor, that was the music room, and also where I started taking orchestra lessons, because I started playing the violin when I was in 4th grade. So we're going towards the back right now. Right over here, you see these high windows. This is just the large gym. I think it's the red gym, and then the smaller one, which is that way more on the other side of this gym, is the blue gym, and it was a little bit smaller. And 4th and 5th grade, I did just elementary school basketball there. We would split up into teams, and actually one of the lowlights was I kind of jumped on top of a basketball because I was trying to show off, and then I fell face first and I chipped my front tooth. And it's always been, at least I got it filled, but it's a different color now. Oh, I see. So this is in memory of Amanda, who went here and she died when I was a senior. I think she was a couple years older or younger than me. So that was sad. I think it was suicide. So this is where we would play basketball, and actually we would kind of set up like if you see right here, this corner, we would play kickball right here. So they would have it kind of the mound right there in the center, and then we would play, which was really fun. And actually, one time when we were in third grade, there was this new teacher in third grade, Mrs. Eichstadt, and this boy in my class, or not in my class, but in my grade, Evan, he hit one and it hit her right in the face, and that was just a really funny moment. So if we go back here, you see this little street right here. This is where the car line would be, so they would come from the left side and they go to the right. And these hoops, they've been kind of the same. Obviously, I saw over the summer that they redid this concrete. This thing, I'm not really sure what this is, but this is new. It wasn't there when I was there. These are the swings, which besides this kind of child's one, these are all basically the same. You can see some of the rust. And actually, another kind of funny moment was fifth grade. What we would do was we would swing, and then some kid would step in front with their back to the swinger, and then they would just swing and hit them, and you would go flying. Another thing I did was, I don't know if I did that, but another thing was I would swing a lot, and then I would just jump off and I'd go flying. That was fun. Right here, this little field right here, we played football here, so that was kind of fun. Over here, this was the larger field. So this would be, I think, like we played kickball in gym here, where you would start right there and you'd have the corners. Sometimes there would be soccer goals here. I don't know. I guess they're back there. But you just kind of run around here. Now this part right here, this is new. This is some sort of just hang on to that thing and then it goes and swings to the other side. But the rest of this is all 15, 20 years later. This is all the same. We have the same wood chips, but this is all the same equipment. So it's kind of cool to see that. So right here, if you see door number 8, that was my 5th grade class, and we'll actually, let me go all the way around. And yeah, a lot of this is the same. Right here, there's another bowl right here, or just another, yeah, we called it the bowl, I believe, and we would play football here as well. I played a lot of sports during recess, kind of with the popular boys, and I didn't really know my friends the best. I mean, I kind of went from friend to friend. And then right here, this is kind of where the second graders are. And then right in here, this right here, this was where I was in gifted math. So I was in, we called it tag math, talented and gifted, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And that was because I got in with a good test score that we all took in 2nd grade, and I took a reading test as well, but I was never a good reader. But right here, we're gonna walk the path that I take when I just want to walk somewhere and I don't want to see a lot of people, because I don't really see many people. Sometimes there's this woman that rides on the swing, but that's it. So I do this little path. It's probably about maybe a quarter mile around. So I go down here. This is the staff parking for the district office. So in terms of Whittier, I mean, that's where I got my start, obviously, kind of all the cliches. But the big thing was 2 big things, and it had to do with the tag math class. So I realized that I was a good student, that I was smart, and I think it helps that my parents really pushed me and made sure I was doing my homework. And also when I was in kindergarten and 1st grade, they read a lot of books to me, which I was happy for because I learned kind of a lot from those books. And then 4th and 5th grade is when we started to do science. It's different now. I think they do science every year now. So we go up here. But with that tag math class, there are probably 5 or 6 other boys there who I became better friends with when we were in middle school and we were in the gifted math classes there. But they are still my friends. I talk to them every day. They're my closest friends because I don't really talk with my college friends anymore. And yeah, that's all because we were in the gifted math class together. We started playing fantasy football in middle school, and we played the Xbox 360 all together, and that was especially helpful when one of us moved back to Pennsylvania because he had moved here as a 5th grader. And I think 5th grade, he was in the gifted reading, and then in middle school, he got into the gifted math. And I remember 6th grade, at the beginning of that, in middle school, I was sitting for the first week with like the popular boys because I thought I was kind of friends with them. And then one of them was like, hey, why don't you go sit with your friends over there? And he was talking about just the math kids. So it felt bad, but looking back, I'm glad that he did that because that middle school is when I really became good friends with them. I think elementary school, I just kind of bounced around. I was a good athlete, so that's why I was kind of on their baseball teams and stuff. And in middle school, I also played soccer, basketball. I did 1 year of flag football when I was in 2nd grade, but I was like a defensive lineman and I didn't really enjoy it. So we do this route right here. And then other things. I had good teachers, and it's weird to think about elementary school because it was 15 to 20 years ago. So I think probably a bunch of them are retired by now. I looked at the roster of teachers for this school a couple months ago, and there's only like a couple that I recognize. And for example, my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Monahan, he was probably about 50 years old when I was there, and I had heard that he retired a couple of years ago. But then other typical things happened. I had my first crushes. So in 4th grade, in Mrs. Babka's class, Mrs. Babka was young and pretty cute, we thought, me and the math boys. But there was this girl there, Marina, who was also Greek because I'm half Greek. So I had a crush on her. And I was so socially inept back then because I blame it on being the oldest sibling. Like, I just didn't know. Like, I remember one time we were practicing for choir because basically every kid did choir when they were just whatever, which the big thing for that was the Christmas concert. And I think the music teacher, he was like a doctor. He had like a PhD. I don't know why he was doing elementary school singing and music, but he asked this one kind of popular boy, hey, why don't you do this part? And the boy said, I don't want to ruin my reputation. And I didn't know what reputation was. And then I remember also in kindergarten or 1st grade, I was watching this animated movie. I don't think it was Disney. I can't remember what it was, but this one girl who's kind of a brat in it, she said whatever. And I thought that whatever was like a bad word. And I remember like 4th or 5th grade, some kids were talking about these like bracelets that I had read in a Time magazine were like kind of secret like sex symbols. Like you get a different color bracelet depending on what you've done. And someone was like talking about it. And I think I like chimed in. I said, oh yeah, those are sex they are just like sex symbols. And someone was like, one of the popular boys was like, yeah, even Nick G knows what that is. And then I remember 3rd grade, this boy and girl were talking about sex, and it was like they were talking about how sex was gross. So I was like, okay, I got to look this up in the dictionary. But the dictionary definition wasn't about intercourse. It was just about like just the gender, or the male and female. So I was like, what? And then I was in childcare at the health club, the fitness club that my mom would work out at, and I had some magnetic pieces, and I just wrote out sex, and basically a babysitter, but one of the people working there just got really mad at me. But yeah, 4th grade, Marina, and back to being socially inept, I would stand on my tippy toes because I had the idea that girls there would like taller boys, even though I don't think in elementary school that matters as much as when you're older. So that was dumb. And then 5th grade, there was this girl, Alex, who had a crush on in Mr. Monahan's class. And I never told them about my crushes. And she actually thought that I had a crush on this other girl who I didn't, who was a twin of this guy, David, who I was friends with. Her name was Tori. And Alex would be like, oh, you should go on a McDonald's date with her. So that's about it. I mean, it was a good experience. I think it started me off on this path of doing well in school and kind of laying the foundation for my friends. My battery for my phone is like 10%. So I'm going to go now, and I'll see you guys the next time. All right. Take care on this Sunday.